I started martial arts when I was about 4.5 years old. I started competing all inside state and then some outside of state by the time I was 5 years old. For me, the favorite thing about martial arts is just always learning. I was traveling 20, 25 plus tournaments a year at such a young age, 5, 6, 7 years old. And then it started traveling more outside of state, overseas, to Russia, Croatia.
12 times to Guatemala, 12 times to Mexico, Canada, you name it, he's been there.
We've done so many of them, hundreds of tournaments, that they kind of all blend in. But just having those memories of being on planes all the time with Sage and my dad, we have a special kind of bond and a relationship that I don't think most parents have with their kids. Having your dad as your coach and then your brother as your training partner. And a best friend, really.
I coached all the actual karate and the martial arts, but we always had him wrestling. We had both of them in wrestling since they were probably 8 or 9. We had them grappling at 8 or 9, so they always did that during the year, throughout the year, but obviously we had coaches for the wrestling and the grappling.
I used to train up the road from Sage. So his father owns a nutrition store on Richmond Avenue, and every day I'd go in there and he has a wall, and it's still there now if you get a chance to visit it, but there's a wall full of trophies and it comes all the way out on the floor of trophies from Colby and Sage.
77 world titles in martial arts. He was the most prolific martial arts of all time in what they call the junior division, actually really of all time ever. Youngest person to be on Sport Karate magazine.
What's weird about it is I've been watching them since they were little kids, because it's since Sage and Colby were young children. They had the 6-packs and they had all of these trophies. And so basically it went from that, knowing them as little kids, to one day walking into my promotion and fighting for me. So it's been a pretty surreal deal.
It's like piecing a puzzle together. You're putting all the different martial arts, all the different sports, each individual part of it together like a puzzle, and that's the MMA. I feel like I'm learning at a very rapid pace, and I'm only 19 years old, but every single fight that goes by, I'm just looking forward to see how much I can learn and being the best I can be.
This 19-year-old has been a phenom throughout his entire martial arts career.
Obviously, everybody wants to be the champion for the UFC and wants to have the belt, but I believe I could be the youngest champion.
Going to give Tuyon a taste of his own medicine. A high right round early from Northcote. Double shot. He's done it. Sage Northcote 4-0. I did not see that coming. And you know, also that kid was very good.
I think that obviously the fact that he got spotted by Dana White, it happened a little bit faster than perhaps I expected it. But I knew with his looks and with his ability, and I thought the same thing about his sister as well, that they would be superstars.
Oh, he's been ready since he was a little kid. Now he's been doing it his whole life, so it's just kind of another progression to go from the type of fighting he was doing into this. We always knew he was going to fight, you know, MMA.
I think competing and traveling around the world as a little kid helped prepare me for the UFC and where I'm at today. Being around crowds, being around audiences, competing at such a high level.
I think it's refreshing, honestly. I felt the same way when Holly won. Holly's persona compared to Ronda's is completely the opposite. And I think because she is so nice and welcoming and you feel like she's your girl next door type person, that it's made her endearing to fans. I feel the same thing about Sage. I think it's because it's such a rare type of human being, and it's almost to an extreme how nice he is and how much he smiles and how happy he is. It's so extreme that it makes people drawn to him.
I think there's a need for those type of guys. People have to have personalities. If they didn't have those kind of personalities out there, it'd be pretty boring. Nick Diaz, Conor McGregor, those guys are great for the sport. Sage is just humble, so he's a little bit different than everybody else, and it'll take people a little while to actually figure that out, because a lot of people probably think it's insincere or fake, but you know, his yes sir, no sir, his opening doors for people, that's the real Sage.
I don't listen to any of the negative stuff about me. For every negative thing that someone says, there's always something positive. So my friends and the people that are close to me, they never even tell me any of the negative stuff.
I think he's a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and I said that prior to him going to the UFC. His martial arts training, his persona, it's extremely, extremely rare. So I really do believe he's one of those once-in-a-lifetime people. I think he can be champion.
You know, we always knew it would happen. We didn't know that it would be so early, him being so young, but you know, everything happens for a reason, and he's there and he's doing awesome, so we're really proud of him.
Ever since I was actually 9 years old, so in 2006, I made the front cover of the Sport Karate magazine, and I said in the article, when they wrote an article about me, they said, "Hey Sage, what are your goals?" And I said, "My goal is to fight in the UFC." Now 10 years later, that's what I'm gonna do, fight in the UFC, and I'm looking forward to just having a blast.
Inside MMA, live every Friday night on Access TV. Your home for MMA.